was supposed to be hey fam. Alright, hi YouTube. We are reviewing for Math 7 proportionality. So hopefully we have some fantastic YouTube viewers from period A that are viewing, and maybe they have some friends in here. So let's see how we're doing. Now, do you know how to do this? Okay, do you have a code name? Chocolate. Okay, Chocolate's coming up here. Let's give her a hand. Ladies and gentlemen, clap. That's better. Not great though. But it was better. Okay, how do you think we should do this? Now, it says proportional or not proportional. Analyze the table. Determine if the relationship is proportional. Prove it by showing the ratios. Alright, help us out, Miss Chocolate. Oh, what color do you wear?
Black.
Okay, go ahead.
So when you, I said it was non-proportional because there's just no particular relationship between the two numbers. When you divide 6 by 4.
Good. So we're dividing, hold on one second. So this is always what we do, guys. The second one divided by the first. So please write down on your paper 6 divided by 4. And does anybody know what that comes out to?
5.
Go ahead. Go ahead. 1.5. Okay. Next one, Chocolate.
And when you divide 35 by 20, you get 1.75.
1.75. So that's why it's not proportional. Now, what if they had both been 1.5 or 1.75?
Then it would have been a proportional relationship.
Very good. So we circle not proportional. And then for y, now there's a bunch of different ways you can say it. Alright? So I'm going to write, let's see, do you want to use your own words?
Sure.
Okay, why is it not proportional?
There is no relationship or even number between the two numbers.
There is not, well, there is no relationship? You mean they're not the same? Because they have to be the same. Okay. So let's say the ratio between the input, please write this down. Which is our input?
Yeah.
Our input is the number of students. Okay? So between the input, parentheses, number of students.
We have to.
If you want to get it right on the test and get credit for your homework, then yes. Alright, the ratio between the input, which is the number of students, you want to finish it, and?
The output, which
Good.
is the number of tickets.
Good. Input, which is number of tickets. Chocolate has gone back to her seat. Number of tickets is not the same. Or you could say it's different. Not the same. Please write that down since I know you all want to do really well on your test.
Yeah.
Oh, output. Oopsie daisy. Poor guy. Let's start now. 1, 2, 3. Let's hear it for Gaia. So here we go. Too late now. All right. Determine if the relationship is proportional. Can you help us do this, sir?
Yes.
Okay, how do we do it?
Okay. So first of all, you do 186 divided by 3,
Uh-huh.
and your output is 62.
Oh no, so the ratio.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
The answer. So write this down, please. 186 divided by 3 equals 62. Okay.
And
Now what?
400. And the next is 434 divided by 7 is also 62.
Also 62. Excellent. So let's write it down.
Got it.
That is correct, sir. So we are going to either circle proportional, non-proportional. What do you think, Mr. Gael? Proportional. So do we agree?
Yeah.
We do. So we're going to circle proportional to the same sentence. Okay. So you want to help us out?
Sure.
Okay. Why is it that it's proportional?
Because the ratio between the output.
Okay, hold on. The ratio between, let's start with the input. Ratio between the input, which is, do you know what, bless you?
Yes, it's the number of hours.
Number of hours, that's the thing on the left, I can't see my paper. And the output, which is what?
7 hours.
The output is what?
The miles. The
Number
number of miles.
of miles. I'm just using the pound. The ratios. Oh, actually, should be ratios, huh? shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Hopefully, an English teacher won't see this. All right, I fixed it. All right, the ratios
Your
are
English teacher will see this.
are
Are the same.
the same. Excellent.
Could you also write that
Wow.
the equations share the same outcome?
The equations share the same outcome.
Yeah, I wrote that. They do. They share the exact same outcome in the proportional.
The proportion's the same, but
Yeah.
it's not the same. I mean, the dividing both of them is the same outcome. I would say it that way. All right, let's give Guy a hand. Woo!
Hey, that's pretty good.
Let's hear you clap.
Clapping noises.
Okay, go. Thank you very much.
Please subscribe.
Please
One
subscribe.
of the projectors.
Okay. You guys see how that works? You want to do the next one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a code name, sir? All right.
Eyeball.
That took too long. Okay. For
soup.
Spaghetti soup. For each graph, state if it represents a proportional relationship or non-proportional. All right. Now, if it's interesting. Now, I believe it's the same, asking the same thing as if we were doing. Is it a direct variation or not? Thank you, young lady. Do you have a code name? Oh. Then
Young
it's
lady.
Wendy. Anyway, so there were two things we had to worry about. We had to worry about if it's a straight line. And does anyone remember the second thing?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. If it starts at 0, 0. So we have to have both of those things going on. Okay, so is number 3 work for those two things? Mr.
Spaghetti soup.
Spaghetti soup.
Yeah.
Yes, so we're going to write yes. And it's asking us why or why not. So we have to write both things. We have to say number 1, because it's a straight, it graphs as a straight line.
Yeah.
And number 2,
It's squiggly, like spaghetti, I guess.
starts at 0, 0. Okay. Okay. So graph B, what do you think, Spaghettis? Is this a proportional relationship? No. And why not?
Because it's not in a straight line.
All right, so I'm going to write the answer here because my pen is big. So, no, not a straight line. Okay, what about graph C?
No.
No, why not?
Because
It's
it's
starting
on,
at zero.
yeah, it's on the Opposite.
Because it's not.
Starting at 0.
Now, does anybody remember what this is called? We learned it recently. Oh, you're close.
Reverse variation.
Indirect variation.
Oh, you're
Excellent.
right.
Give yourself 10 points. And these people who are doing it too. Let's hear it for spaghetti sauce soup.
Soup.
Sauce.
Spaghetti soup out here, dog.
.com.
Spaghetti soup sauce. Okay. So the reason why graph C is not is because it does not include or start at 0, 0. Okay. For chicken soup!
For the soul.
Much better. That's good. Good job. Okay. Thank you. I like that energy. Okay. Now this is not the easiest one to do. So determine the constant, which remember we wrote in our textbooks, we wrote y divided by x, right? And we were doing that. And we were doing that. We were doing our, well, let's see if Connor remembers. Okay. It says,
Hey.
ooh,
Chicken soup for the soul.
chicken soup.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Good job, Mr. Pass.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
The graph shows the relationship. The graph shows the relationship between number of songs played on the radio compared to the number of hours. Okay, how do you think we do this to find K?
To find K, you have to, since it's 2 hours, and then for every 2 hours, it's 15 number of songs. We
Right.
divide 15 by 2.
Excellent. Remember, it's always y divided by x. Remember, we wrote that in our book just recently.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Whoever's doing that, stop it. All right. So we wrote in the margin really big. Just the other day, we wrote y over x. So going up or down on the left side here is always which letter, y or x?
Y.
It's y.
Yeah.
And what about here?
X.
That's always x. So we're going to divide. Ladies and gentlemen, please sit up straight, pay attention, get your serious faces on. Alexis, please don't do that. Here we go. So he said 15 divided by 2. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
I totally agree. What do we get?
7.5.
7.5.
7 and 5/10.
Yes. Now wait, we have to label it. So what does that stand for? 7.5.
Constant proportionality.
Right, but
It means songs per hour.
good. So we have to label it. Songs per hour. All right, chicken soup.
Changing my code name to Cup of Noodles next time.
Write this down, sir. All right. Excellent job, young man. Excellent job. Excellent job. It's chicken soup.
Chicken soup.
Okay. So back of the page. All right. Proportional relationships. Same thing. Per second. Heart beats vary directly with time. So they're telling us it's a direct variation. Now, what is going to be the constant? Well, we need to divide. We already did that before. 6 divided by 4 is?
1.5.
1.5.
Right, and we have to label it. So what does it mean? It means 1.5 beats. Yeah, heart beats. Exactly. No, second. It says seconds.
Second, yeah.
So heart beats per second. And participating well. So Alright, so that's done. State the constant of proportionality. Well, that is the constant of proportionality. So we're going to say 1.5 is the unit rate. That is the constant of proportionality. We can say it as k equals.
Yeah.
Alright? Alright. Oh, that was it. What am I saying? That was it for 5A. My mistake. Okay, now for B. I wondered why they were the same. Okay, B. What does the point at the origin mean? Does anybody think they know? Yeah. Right, so when there's 0 seconds have passed, there's also been 0 heartbeats. Which is, of course, always true in this case, right? So 0 seconds mean... Oh, sorry, not means. 0 seconds I should say at 0 seconds, there has been 0 heartbeats. Okay. Alright, so let's see. What about 5C? What is the equation for the graph? Well, they want to define an x and a y, so there's a bunch of different answers. What do you think? Chocolate? There's a bunch of different answers. We could pick this point, or this point, or this point, or this point. So give me a point where the x and the y equals. Okay, first one is x equals 4, y equals 6. So in order to get y, we would say y equals, and what are we multiplying times x? 1.5. It's just amazing how people are not playing with their calculators now. I know. Alright. Alright, use your equation determined. Now, if you don't use your equation, I'm not a super stickler on this. Maybe other teachers are. But here's the deal. Y equals 1.5 times the number of seconds, right?
Yeah.
So, we're going to do 1.5 times 30. And 1.5 times 30 is? 45.
Yeah.
So, 45 seconds. Right? So we would say y equals 1.5 times 30.
Heartbeats, because it's asking for the heartbeats.
Oh, I'm sorry. Heartbeats.
Mr. Pass.
Sorry. Okay, heartbeats. And then we would go to the next line, but there's no room for a next line because my marker write's really big. So y equals 45. Okay. Again, I'm not a stickler for writing your equation, but it says use your equation if you have total heartbeats 45. So that's like backwards. 45 equals 1.5 times question mark times x. And to do this, we divide both sides by 1.5, divide by 1.5, and we would get 30, right?
Yep.
I agree.
Correct.
So we would get 30 equals x. So 30 seconds. But if you did it without using the equation and showed your work, I would be happy. And you do want your teachers to be happy. That makes your life easier when your teachers are happy. Okay, so this says k equals y over x. Let's see. Use the equation for the constant of proportionality to calculate. Okay, so what they're doing here is they're tying back into last unit. Remember when we had division of fractions?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yes, I do.
So, if they want you to do y over x, then let's put 14 over what?
14 over
2/7, right?
Yeah.
And that's nothing that scary. It's just division with fractions, which you guys already know how to do.
We do? Yeah.
Yes, you do.
We do.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 14 times what?
7 over 2
Times 7 over 2.
equals 49.
And actually,
49.
I'm going to actually make it 14 over 1 times 7 over 2. We can reduce this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the answer is
49 something.
x equals 49. Any questions?
No.
Actually, no, they're using, it says calculate. Oh, yeah, to calculate x. Oh, so no wonder. I was looking at that. That's a typo. That's a typo. This is supposed to say to calculate
Yeah.
k.
Yeah.
Will you guys stop saying that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's great, yeah.
I got you.
All right. Can you say bye, YouTube?
Bye.